Good day! Magandang buhay, mabuting tao, and welcome to English 9. Our topic for today is about bias. So what is bias? Let us first define it. Bias means showing inclination or prejudice for or against someone or something. In addition, bias means being prejudiced in favor of or against one thing, person, or group compared with another, usually in a way considered to be unfair. So, when we say bias, this is being disproportionate weight in favor of or against an idea or thing, usually in a way that is close-minded, prejudicial, or unfair. You are giving favor to one while you are disregarding the other person. Okay? So that is bias. You are not balanced. And you are not giving fair judgment. Next, can we consider biases as useful and good? The answer is bias can be very useful though, as it helps us to learn about people's opinions and beliefs. Bias can be good when a person uses it properly, but bias can be bad when a person hurt someone. Let us now proceed to the common types of biases. The first is conformity bias. This relates to bias caused by group or peer pressure. In this type of bias, there is a group of people involved. For example, Anna is unsure with her answers on her assignment. When her friends provide answers, Anna agrees with her friends' answers, believing that they are smarter than her. In this example, Anna believed more in her peer or in her friends rather than herself. Second type of bias is what we call beauty bias. This plays out in terms of other physical attributes a person may have. For example, our company will only accept an applicant who is in 6 feet tall or above and someone who is good looking. In beauty bias, we are only after with the physical attributes or the outside appearance of a person. Whether a person is skillful or not, whether a person is intelligent or smart or not. We're just only looking at the physical appearance. So that's it. Next, for number 3 is halo effect. This happens when we see one great thing about a person and we let the halo glow of that significant thing affect our opinions or everything else about that person. For example, Jen is thinking that people who are good looking are also smarter, kinder, and funnier than less attractive people. The halo effect is a type of cognitive bias in which the overall impression of a person influences how others feel and think about a person's specific traits. Number 4 is Horn's effect. This is the direct opposite of the halo effect. It is when we see one bad thing about a person and we let it cloud our opinions of his other attributes. For example, for Horn's effect, Gina's friend can't deliver her speech well, then Gina assumes that her friend is unintelligent. For number 5, we have similarity bias. This happens when we want to surround ourselves with people we feel are similar to us. And as a result, we tend to work more with people who are like us. For example, Sheila is rich and party-goer. Her neighbor suddenly wants to be her friend. But she knows that she is not rich and party-goer. That is why she rejects her. And for number 6, we have confirmation bias. This refers to a bias when we look for evidence to back up our own opinions of a person. Example, You got the first impression of your classmate that he is a bad person because of the way he talks. And afterwards, you become a keen observer of him in everything he does to back up your impression. For number 7, bandwagon effect. This is the tendency to adopt a certain behavior, style, or attitude simply because everyone else is doing it. Example, Anna is an avid fan of Golden State Warriors, but suddenly shifted to Toronto Warriors when they won 2019 NBA championship game and become famous and trending worldwide. So that is bandwagon effect. And last, gender bias. This is widely held set of implicit biases that discriminate against a gender. For example, men may be considered more analytical and less emotional. As a result, they have a better chance of being hired when these skills are required. Another example, women should always do the household chores. So those are examples of gender bias. Let us have a short recap about common types of biases. What are those? First is conformity bias. Very good. Next, beauty bias. Then, halo effect. We also have Horns effect. Yes. And similarity bias. Next, confirmation bias. Then, bandwagon effect. And lastly is gender bias. Okay, so let us now proceed to our activity. This is an individual activity. Let me read first the direction. Identify what type of bias is illustrated in each scenario. However, if the statement is neutral, you're just simply going to write letter N. You're going to write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Are you ready? Very good. So, let us start. For number 1, girls tend to receive higher grades than boys in mathematics and science courses through high school. But they are less likely to choose careers along science and engineering. What is your answer? Okay, let us proceed to number 2. Sierra Madre is the longest mountain range in the Philippines. What is your answer? Okay, then let's proceed to number 3. In a classroom election, almost all of your classmates choose your top 1 to be the president, thus making you also choose him or her. Kindly write your answer before we proceed to number 4. Then for number 4, others believe that in a pageant, someone with a fair skin should always win. What is your answer? And last, number 5, a student who has a bad attitude may be really smart and do great work, but teacher might believe that the student isn't a good student because he is not a well-behaved student. From that scenario, what do you think is that type of bias? So that's all for today. See you again next time for another amazing discussion. This has been Ma'am A and thank you for watching.